Well, welcome everyone. We are now at module 8, which I'm very excited. We decided to make an actual module because, as we know, Gina Bria, our guest today. Hello, Gina.
I'm really happy we're talking about the moon.
Yes. So, we're water beings. And so the moon is a big deal for us, and harnessing its power, its magic is what I'm hoping we can dive into today.
I really just want to, I want to speak about the moon in terms of us being water beings. So first, in order to do that, I have to help you understand how much water you are because.
Hey, Gina.
Yeah.
Do you want to put your headset back on? You're just, quieter.
We don't want that.
There you are. Okay.
Great. So we're going to talk about the moon. And in order to understand the moon's impact on us, I have to help you understand how much you're made of water. Because once you understand how much you're made of water, then you understand, then we can have the conversation about the moon. So first, it's very important to know that your physical structure is made of a plasma-like water. You're far more water than you ever realized or dreamed, or we were taught, because we didn't understand that we're always looking for water in liquid form. So we know there's a lot of liquid in there. What we didn't understand is that there's also plasma or gel state of water. And that water is what all of our tissues are made of. Everything: muscle, organs, fascia, brain, eyeballs. Once you start looking, you realize the whole thing, I'm multiple bags of jello. I'm jelly. And this is a kind of water. And this water is the kind of water that conducts electromagnetic signals the most. So now I've got that set up for you. You're a jellyfish. You have bones to walk around stump around on land, but you really are a water being living on land, and you're stumping around not even aware of how much you're made of water. So now that we've set that scenario, I want you to know that you're a jellyfish, right? You're living plasma, moving. All of this is made out of water. Now we get this rock in space. There's a huge rock out there. I don't know if you've heard. It has a huge impact on our planet. This big rock has there's a magnetism between these two spaces. The circular sphere of the Earth actually gets elongated by the moon and pushed back into shape. And it's all these changes are going on. And this exact process that's happening to the planet is also happening to you.
We need to stop there for a second, because I really think people need to really understand that. I was in the camp of, oh yeah, that's nice, it's the moon. It really isn't. I can make it mean whatever I want, but it's science. This is real.
It's happening. It's very amazing. We know if you want to just have a quick look at tidal charts, the magnetic pull of the moon on tidal charts, all of our oceans are run by the moon, are magnetically pulled and released by moon phases, moon electromagnetic fields. And now I just want you to get that, meaning that you are as much water as the ocean. And literally, I mean that. I'm not kidding you. 99% of the molecules inside of you are water molecules, and you are subject to these same tidal pulls and rhythms. And the reason why that's so valuable to know is, first of all, it can explain a lot about the crazinesses you're going through. It isn't just the internal eruptions. You're being magnetically charged and pulled back and forth. And if we learn to recognize and understand these rhythms, then we have a whole nother layer of being able to live, right? This is self-understanding we're talking about. We're not talking about, astrological charts in the back of Vogue magazine and reading what some, somebody has to say about your next romantic partner. I'm talking about the biology of the moon and the biology of us as living water beings and the pulls that has on us and the rhythms we can recognize for self-knowledge and living well as a biological animal on this planet in conjunction with the rhythms of other living beings that are living on this planet. So that's the sort of framework that I want to set the conversation up for, Darcy. Tell me a little bit about your thinking on this.
Well, is everyone's cycle the same? I'm just thinking, oh, maybe I should sit and watch the phases of the moon and just journal how I'm feeling, because I'm a very episodic human, and I might be able to learn a little something about myself and like when I should be making decisions, when I shouldn't be making decisions. Is that your husband walking around in the back? Okay.
Hi,
everybody,
Jim.
That's
my love, Jim.
Okay.
That is my love. And
Lorna had kitty cats. We just had to make introductions.
He's my cat. We're being cat bombed by my husband. Well, I'm just going to interject the craziest thing, because I was on a Weight Watchers meeting the other day, because I'm just trying to work on tidal pulls of weight in this COVID time, right? All these amazing experiences away. And my husband puts a box of Cheetos through the screen so that everyone is thinking I'm eating all these Cheetos.
Horrible.
That was a moon madness moment.
Moon madness. Yeah. So back to my question now. Around, is it an individual thing, or is there a cycle that happens?
It's both, Darcy, because look, we're biological animals sharing a communal experience on the planet, and yes, we are having these electromagnetic forces. All the work of heart math and our glorious colleague. Roland McCready and his recognition. We even have photographs of cows lining up according to electromagnetic forces, in the pastures. It's real. And somehow we don't want to give into our biology. Somehow we want to be above it, like, oh, that's just for cows. But actually, to be more potent, if we work with these rhythms, then we discover new things about ourselves.
I really like that you just said we become more potent, because even if there's a phase where it's not a really great time for us to be making decisions because we're charged, that's not a negative. That's powerful to know that. I love that.
Yeah. And it's, being more of an animal, if I can say it that way, that's knowing ourselves more deeply and loving our biology and being in partnership with it, instead of like, I'm a rational creature and I will haul you around and you will do what I say. And we will have the life that I'm aiming for, which is always a shortened version of what we actually are and could be. So all our, achievements and desires are only part of this animal life that we're leading on the planet at this particular cohort of living things. And that's wonderful to step into, because, first of all, we have an immediate community that's real. So moon partnership, that moon it's out there. It's a rock in space, which has electromagnetic pull and tidal pull upon the very waters of our body. And why aren't we enjoying that? You like going to the ocean. You like getting in the water. There's a whole way to participate in being alive to our life as animals and as biological beings in a biological community. So that's the big news of this section. It's as simple as that. We're made of water, and the moon is a partner in the waters of the earth and the waters in us. There's a reason these rhythms are there. Those rhythms are there because they actually produce life on earth. Even though it's off earth forces, it produced life on earth. We are that life. And beginning to notice that and enjoy it and experience it and love the moon and find out what it means to you and what it does to you. That's going to be personal, but it's also look up the tidal charts.
Sure. Right. Right. And are there certain rituals that you might suggest for, let's just start with new moon and full moon, those two, what are their meanings and what might you suggest?
Yeah. So by the way, big news flash, cultures and traditions, indigenous people around the world forever, since time immemorial, have paid attention to moon cycles. It isn't like, where did we lose that skill? How can we be so divorced? How could we have lived and grown up in such an artificial culture that we don't even look up? We don't even notice it is a new moon.
Yeah.
It's signaling. It's sending, it literally beep, 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 beep. It's sending electromagnetic signals. This is time to release, to create. It's time to seed new things. The full moon comes in, beep, 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 beep. Cellular structure, release, release, heal, renew, renew, renew. And it matches what? The cycles of the female human biology, which is doing these same round. I mean, like, could you get any clearer rule book, like opening manual for life, but that these things are all in sync to allow us to live more potently, more aware. And we are so oblivious to the life that life has for us. I don't know, we're busy doing laundry. I don't know what we're doing, but we have to do that too, but let's make it fun. Let's include all of life.
I know for me, because I am up in the Olympic National Forest, all I do is walk out on my deck at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. whenever I get up and take it in wherever it is. And I think I will include in this section an unfiltered photo I took of a full moon off of my deck one morning that was almost too much for me to handle. It felt like I wasn't even in this world. So even taking a moment to
receive the beams.
Yeah.
Look at them. Let them come in your eyes. Receive them. That's great. I love it.
And the other thing I just wanted to talk about was I'd love for you to share a little bit about the cleansing nature of the moonlight. And I know that in terms of putting my crystals out there, or like moon water, putting a glass of water out there, or what are different ways that we can use that? Why is it cleansing?
Right. Yeah.
And what do you do?
Well, I do want to bring into this conversation not just humans but all biology, so that all a good grower, wine harvester, people who have really paid attention. And now I go to the medieval tradition where this was all written in the illuminated manuscripts, and growing things according to the moon, exposing seeds, exposing materials to the moon, recognizing that there were unique electromagnetic signalings that were coming in and could be absorbed, that would help the germination of new things. So this is a biology. This isn't just, sweet renderings of our, masterful imaginations. This is a set of electromagnetic signaling and frequencies, which allows the literally germination of seeds and plants. And people who were alert to that got far better crops, far more potent materials out of whatever they were producing, glorious taste. And they were playful about it. They were like, I'm going to sneak out and put my things out now, because I know that there's a real conversation going on, and it's an invisible conversation, but it allows us a new level of biological wholeness, which of course, sleeping, not under the stars, but in our bedrooms, all cloistered in, maybe even shielded from electromagnetic waves. Yeah, we have a problem receiving the beauty of the natural healing, the things that are so powerful that they actually will heal us. So the cleansing capacity of the new moon is a real thing, and you can take advantage of it by really simple things, carrying out a bowl of water or a glass of water and letting the moon shine. And, I like to try to capture, because it's playful. I try to capture the moon in a bowl. Like, I'd really try to actually even get its reflection, because I just think that is so fun and beautiful. And I know I've really hit the target. It's in there. And then I drink that. And you may lay out an offering of food to the moon, like the moon can wink at you.
Like that. I really like that. We had a guest on Metaphysically Fit Summit, Dana Haynes. She got married, so I was like, and she talked about these elaborate gifts to Pachamama, and having to do it when she was in Utah in the snow. And she's like, I can't believe I have to go out here and design this whole thing. And she felt so good afterwards. Like, so what you're saying is like, even giving an offering to the moon is just a lovely, lovely idea.
Yeah. It's a conversation you're having. You're making a new friend. How extraordinary is that? With a rock floating in space that's living, we don't understand how, because it's giving off, reflecting electromagnetic waves. And if you don't believe that rocks are alive, I'm sorry to tell you at this time that that's where life came from. Is rocks and water together made first bacteria, and then that ignited the rest of the story. So yes.
All right, I found my picture. I'm going to put it up here. That is a unfiltered photo from my deck.
Wow. How romantic.
Yeah.
You want romance in your life? There you go.
Get moonstruck, right?
Get moonstruck. I can't think of anything better to say. That is moonstruck.
Absolutely. And may I ask about in your understanding of the waxing and the waning moon,
right?
What's happening in
right
those phases?
Well, what's happening is the happening of all of life, which is the slow ascent from less to more, and the release at the height, and the return back. And this is all life cycles. And we're engaged in that because that's happening to us. And, it is, we're not going to disappear at the end of our body. We're going to transmute into the next level of our living existence, just like the moon. So it's amazing to do that monthly, or to think about that monthly, and to recognize I have a body that's going through these rhythms, and I'm on I'm riding a ship, that I'm riding the planet Earth ship, and I have this beautiful side partner, this friend I want to make, that can give me a lot of information, and I can make a relationship there and receive meaning back and forth. We just had a conversation about ritual and how important ritual is, that we can make our own meaning. And I think science has served us so brilliantly on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's really undermined our deeper conversations, because science, because of the narrowness upon which it has the conversation, misses all these other conversations which are available to us to be human in. And one of those conversations we want to open up during this particular segment is the conversation you can be having with the moon, and why that could be so fun in your life.
Well, to me, it also, I find with my friends that it's almost like the world is on board with New Year's Day being like slate is clean.
Mhm.
But I also find that you can do that with the moon cycles and say, here we go,
Mhm.
slate is clean. Let's do this. Let's make magic.
Right.
And so it's that, for me, it's that
Mhm.
renewal over and over again.
And if that's monthly instead of yearly,
Exactly.
how much more potent we are.
And how much more fun and
Yeah.
how much less sadness around,
Mhm.
like you didn't
Mhm.
do whatever it was. Well, guess
Mhm.
what?
Mhm.
It's a new moon. Let's go.
Mhm. Mhm.
And also taking a moment to just release what has happened, be open, and just I find it to be a really powerful reminder, that we can manifest at any point in time. But I just love that I'm like, yeah, it's a new moon. Let's do this.
And it signals it, it literally turns dark and turns its back on all that's happened and then comes back again in a fresh way.
Yeah.
So
It's like when I go out into the old growth forests out here, and I am reminded that these trees have been here for 500, 600, 700 years. They're still here. They're still here. Darcy, you're gonna be okay. Just because you had a crappy Zoom call with somebody and you feel
right.
like the world is ending,
Oh,
it's not. And I feel like the moon can do that for people too on a daily basis. So like, there you are again. So I also want to give just a little thing about waxing and waning I learned. And if you're wondering, you look up in the sky, you're like, is it waxing or waning? I have no idea. And a friend of mine taught me this years ago. If you can hold it in your right hand, it's waxing. If you can hold it in your left hand, it's waning. So
I love that.
I will literally go outside. I'm like, oh, it's waxing. Oh, it's waning. So just a little cue for people. And
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
one last thing. When you look at the moon, it's a fantastic opportunity to thank it for all the work it does on water. Because, of the tidal pools, of the way it helps rain happen, the atmospheric changes, of the way it runs the oceans, and it's a profound partner in having drawn life out of the rocks and the water, and I think because electromagnetic frequencies are something we do not understand, or we will never get to the end of it. I don't care what the science says, we cannot possibly understand the multitude of frequencies, what they're doing, what they're saying, and the fact that it is a conversation. It's a personal conversation. And so I just want to help all of us walk into more conversations with the moon.
Well, as you were saying that, I was thinking how much after this conversation, how much more connected I feel. Like it's not that thing over there. It's these two powerful planets that are, they're talking to one another all the time. They're partners in all of this. And as little life forms here, we are partners in all of this. It's a really beautiful reminder.
Yes.
Not that separateness.
Yeah.
Like we're not separate.
Right.
It's part of us.
The moon loves you. And that's why all the poetry is written to the moon. So many gorgeous poets have written to the moon as, their lover, their friend. And that you can say that's made up. I simply say that's outside the conversation that science likes to have. And that there's all this meaning making going on that we can participate in, which, while we love the science, it's a limited conversation. And having these larger conversations, first of all, they're hilarious and fun. If you really want to start this story with the moon, I'm going to challenge you to take all your clothes off. You can do this privately. No one needs to see you. We all have struggles with how we look at certain phases, and stand in the moonbeam. Find a way to do it, to be naked in front of the moon, and start the conversation there.
Well, you just threw down the gauntlet. We know I have a big deck. It's very dark and the moon is there. I might have to wait till it's less chilly out.
Mhm.
But this is inspiring conversation. Appreciate, Gina, your wisdom and your enthusiasm for this topic.
Thank you. I do. The moon is my buddy, my friend. I love her to death. So yes, praise to the moon.